all disciples of something. There are things that we choose explicitly that we have a passion for, and others that affect us more implicitly. I tend to love my iPhone, right? The camera, the interface, and how it connects to all of my devices. But occasionally I have that one family member, the one that turns your messages green. Well, he tries to convince me that there is a better option. His phone has better features, it's waterproof or shatterproof, it does this, that, or the other, and I am almost convinced. I'm inspired, curious, intrigued, but I never actually do anything about it. I still have the same iPhone, and I like it. In some regard, I've been told, drop that, come follow me. But instead of following, I stay right where I am. I am stuck in this net. I'm happy to sit and listen to this spiel, but rather content in the boat that I have, with the net that I know. As humans, we get a lot of invitations to buy this or that while it's on sale, or to help improve our lives, invitations to eat out or support this or that organization, invitations to travel and go to these places. We have invitations from friends and family, as well as reels on all kinds of platforms. They say, drop that, come, follow me. As consumers in a capitalistic society, we know these invitations, and we constantly discern, do I take this exit and eat there? Do I click on this product and go down that rabbit hole? Do I change what I'm doing, or do I do the same thing? As Jesus calls the disciples, Simon Peter, Andrew, James, and John, we see Jesus put out this invitation saying, come, follow me. Jesus doesn't even present a great argument. No fancy bells and whistles or cool camera, no mouth-watering pictures or exclusive deals. In a song, Hero by Abandon, they put it this way. He said, come follow me, and they came. A face like all the rest, but something was different. The Son of God would lead the way. Jesus offered a life of purpose. It was a different invitation than that we receive in the world. As the disciples hear this call, they immediately drop their nets and they follow Jesus. They don't think about how it affects them personally, but they make a decision to change. They gave up their hobby, their livelihood, their family business as a fisherman, and left their family and sought out a new purpose. Jesus inspires them. Instead of sitting in awe and continuing on with their ways, as Jesus goes to ask others, the disciples drop their nets and follow. It's easy to imagine that we would immediately drop our nets and follow Jesus. Follow Jesus on this mission, that we would want to change the course of our lives to help create the vision that Jesus casts for us as followers and co-creators. However, sometimes we get stuck in the net. We hear the call from Jesus. We are inspired on a Sunday morning or after a small group, following a camp. And we say, ask me later, Jesus. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next month I'll have time, or after that raise, or when this season ends. We sit in the net. I have not done much net fishing specifically, but at church, we somehow always had fishing nets for some skit or decoration for VBS, and it was my job as the preacher's kid to untangle the net. And it would often take multiple people to get together and figure out which way each piece went to get it out of this tangled mess. I think sometimes we get tangled in our nets spiritually too, wanting to get out of the boat, but never taking that first step, dropping the net. The disciples in Matthew have an immediate reaction to Jesus' call. They don't dilly-dally to make a change or procrastinate an answer. They drop their net and follow. As the disciples are called, we too are called. We are invited to the party. However, it's more than just a good feeling about being invited and included. It's more than being inspired or being filled with awe. It's about showing up and being part of creating this vision. It's about making the dreams that we have named as a part of this campaign come into fruition. Let us drop the net and unleash our potential as disciples, be that the net of debt or what keeps us stuck in our life of discipleship. Thomas Berry writes that God created us to be dance partners. Sure, God can dance alone just fine, but isn't it more fun when we tango together? We are invited to dance. We have the option to sit on the sidelines and watch everyone else do great work. But the fun, it happens on the dance floor of God's kingdom. Let us jump in that dance and be part of creating God's vision here on earth, not simply just sit back and watch. As we are created in God's image, we are to be co-creators. God created us to be co-laborers, to collaborate, not just sit and watch. So let's not just sit in the boat, tangled in our net, where we have been and where we are comfortable, but let's jump in, drop our nets, and follow Jesus. As co-laborers with God, we as disciples work together to make a difference. I can think of so many times when I was inspired by a recipe or a project on Pinterest, and I thought, I'll pin it in this folder to do later. But what actually makes it come into fruition? What helps me get out of that stuck place to go and make it happen? Sometimes it's bringing someone on the journey, asking my husband to make the recipe with me, and let's do this together. And it takes us, as Jesus says, come follow me, to say yes and accept that invitation to be part of creating God's kingdom here on earth. So what do we need to set down so that we can follow Jesus?